Hey y'all, it's Harvard lawyer Lee. Well, it may be the most costly tweet of all time, but it looks like Elon Musk has finally stopped losing money as a result of his infamous funding secured Tesla tweet. Here's the tweet that cost him millions and millions of dollars. Am considering taking Tesla private at $420 funding secured. And it was that funding secured that really killed him because it, in fact, was not fully secured, as his attorney admitted. But he has now finally, in his view, ended the issue by winning a jury verdict on Friday in California. A jury deliberated for less than 2 hours before saying that Elon Musk won over the shareholders who were suing him, saying that this tweet cost them money. Now, here's what the lawsuit was about. In 2018, Elon Musk considered taking Tesla private. He tweeted that he was considering taking it private for $420 a share and funding was secured. He, in fact, had spoken to the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund, but it wasn't truly secured. So the stock rode a wave up 11%, from $344 to $387.46. But then it went back down, and by the end of a month was at only $263.24 as people began to realize the deal was not going to go through. Since that time, the stock has done very well. It's had huge increases, but of course, like everything else, has had significant decreases in the last most recent months. It was already one of the most costly tweet mistakes of all time. The SEC sued Elon Musk and he lost his position as Tesla's executive chairman. Robin Denholm was named. He was, however, allowed to stay on as CEO of Tesla. He also had to pay $20 million in fines, and so did Tesla. That doesn't even mention the legal fees, which I can only imagine are in the multi-million dollar range, not only for the SEC matter, but now for this shareholder matter. He also had to agree at the time in the SEC case that if he was going to send out material information about Tesla, other company executives had to review it first, which frankly just made sense. And it's just a good idea. So this particular lawsuit was filed in California by shareholders who said they believed Elon Musk, in fact, was taking the company private. They relied on that tweet. They said it was false and they lost a lot of money. One investor said he bought at $380 and thinking that was still a bargain because it was going to go to $420, and then he lost money. I did have this question. If it was so certain that it was going to go to $420, why was that investor able to buy at $380? It didn't seem to make complete sense there. But here was what Musk's argument was and why he said he ought to win on this. He said in closing, and this is Musk's attorney in closing argument to the jury. He said, okay, yeah, technically that was inaccurate. And the funding was not actually secured. But Musk had said, I really believed it. I mean, I'd actually talked to Saudi investors about taking it private. And I was trying to get ahead, in fact, of a news leak because it was about to come out that I had been talking to them about this. So I was just trying to get ahead of that and tell people what I was thinking about. He also said, besides, I could have funded it personally by selling all my SpaceX shares. Obviously, he didn't want to do that and didn't do that, but he said I could have done that. So he said, what happened was I changed my mind because shareholders were upset and wanted to stay involved in Tesla. So now I was thinking about them, so I didn't go forward with it. He also said, look, I got as close to the truth as I could. You got to face the fact that a tweet is very limited. A tweet has just a few characters, so you can't put everything in it. And besides that, how do you manage to prove, this is his argument, that my tweet actually moved the market, although it was pretty clear that it had responded directly at the time. But he said also, a tweet's not a formal financial filing. It's not subject to rules and regulations. You don't have a bunch of attorneys look over it. You don't have a bunch of language added at the end that's a disclaimer. It's different. There's a fundamental difference between a tweet and a statement in an annual report that gets filed with the SEC. Those are two totally different things. And so his core point was he was making efforts to take the company private. He was trying to do that and taking steps toward that, and he was disclosing that. So now here's what went right for Musk at the trial and wrong for the shareholders. We know this because Financial Times reported on some interviews with some of the jurors as they were leaving after they had rendered their verdict. And one of them said the shareholder case was very disorganized and that the people testifying as representatives were not effective. And another one said it was too complicated. It was just hard to understand and it wasn't explained well enough. And that probably is the ultimate problem, is that it was very complex, difficult to explain, and they didn't manage. So the jury felt like the shareholders had just gone too technical and on their argument and didn't succeed in proving the case. I think there also has to be an element of the jury believing that a tweet is an opinion in a way that a formal SEC filing is just not. And people expect a tweet to be filled with opinion, and they don't expect that from an annual report filed with the SEC. So, an Elon Musk's reaction to the jury verdict was exactly what you figured. Naturally, he tweeted. He said, "Thank goodness the wisdom of the people has prevailed." And he said he was deeply appreciative of the jury's unanimous finding of innocence in the Tesla 420 take private case. So please be sure to like the video and subscribe for breaking legal news. Right now, I'm covering the Murdaugh murders trials every night at 7 p.m. So I will see you tonight at 7.